about AI in 2024, meaning that proliferation of tools and opportunities, and yet what do you think we should be aware of?
So I think it's important that you start testing, right? So whether it's Bard, ChatGPT, there's a ton of AI tools that you can use in marketing, from video to content creation. I don't think AI, or generative AI specifically, is going to replace people, at least initially. I think it's a good way to become more efficient. It's a good way, especially when you're writing or brainstorming. It's a good way to get a lot of information and simplify that information. So for writing, for example, I use it a lot for just as a starter, to give me lots of different ideas I can play with. And then it actually allows me to think outside of how I would normally think. So it gives me different ways to approach problems that I myself wouldn't normally think of. And you can think about that in terms of video, in terms of narration. There's lots of things around marketing that gives you kind of a different perspective than you would normally see.
Absolutely. And in the team setting, okay, I just want to dive deeper into, right, with all the productivity tools, right, and
Yeah.
lots of tools that teams are trying as we speak, all right. How do you choose the right strategy? Because you cannot be jumping from one tool to another, right? If you're leading the team, if you have businesses investing, certain budget into what you do. So
Yeah.
what's kind of, the common sense approach here now? Because the landscape is pretty busy, don't you think?
Yeah, I think just start with one thing. Once you kind of master it, although I don't know if we're at mastering level yet, add on other layers. So, for example, you can start brainstorming different topics that you want to write, or for your business, for example, you can brainstorm different topics around AI. Then you can use your AI tools to start researching people and identifying interesting people that may be of interest to you. The one thing about generative AI that I think is great is I can look up, what are the top 10 influencers in banking, for example, and it scours the internet for me, does all the research that I would look at, and gives me top 10 based on various algorithms that it has. Depending on the tool, it will be transparent to you or not. Hopefully it is. And then you can start fine tuning the results, right? So you can start asking questions, take things out. Then you can take that information and then toss it into the next phase of your research. So how do you start putting together content? What are the different types of content I can do? How should I approach each influencer? So I'm actually having my team do that right now around influencers. That's why I'm talking about influencers around a lot. Is we're identifying the top influencers that we would want to work with, and we're also identifying where their strengths are. So we have a number of different areas that we're focusing on strategically, and we're tapping into different influencer networks to attack those areas, using AI to help identify them, using AI to help identify the most trending topics in each of their areas, and then to go into content creation.